the three evolutions of man. We have that beast mode where it's fight and fuck and live life to the fullest, but we have to harness that with a man of logic and reason that says, how can I accumulate my resources that help me function in society? And then we transcend that into the God spiritual realm, where we find a higher purpose than wealth and toys and fighting. Gentlemen, what's going on? It's a rainy, kind of gloomy day. My voice is a little off, been dealing with some sinuses, but it is what it is. Life goes on. We live in a culture today that wants to overturn every rock, looking for oppression, looking for where they've been wrong, pointing fingers, throwing rocks at each other. But this is the Better Man channel, where instead of throwing rocks in a glass house, we choose to look at those rocks as stepping stones to actually build something of worth, to begin to explore what it means to be a man in this society and what we can do to begin to function as better men. I've lived my life kind of just going through the flow, not fully embracing the identity of what it means to be a capable man, a strong man, a sovereign man. Those men that we admire, maybe hopefully in our lives, but that they admire in the movies, kind of that Sigma wolf that walks his own course. He's strong, he's respectful, he's admired, he's held in esteem because he does things his way. And he does them in a way that benefits him. He's not stuck in the noise of society. He's that strong, capable man, and that's the path that I want to take. That's the path that I'm looking for. I want to escape the monotony of less than standards. I want to escape being a weak-ass little boy. And so masculinity, man, that's the key component of being a man. Being masculine. Having that masculine drive to become better, to become stronger, to dominate life. I'm tired of being dominated by external circumstances and allowing outside situations to influence my thinking, my patterns, my behaviors. Fuck that. I want to take control of my life. I want to be the most upright, strong man that I can be. And so masculinity is that key virtue, that key ability to begin to build something instead of overturning the rocks and throwing that shit at other people, looking for excuses, looking for ways I've been oppressed. And as you've seen in the thumbnail, I want to use Mike Tyson to kind of dive into the areas, the evolution of man. I believe there's three evolutions in man that we all need to embrace if we fully want to become the badass that we're capable of becoming. Those three evolutions are first and foremost beast, where it's almost just fight and fuck mentality, right? Animal instinct, that beast within. And the second one is man, where we kind of evolve from that, maybe those teenage and 20-year adolescent mindset of there's only one thing, fucking fight. We evolve into that man of logic, that man of reasoning that begins to realize, man, I need to begin to accumulate some resources. I need to find a reason. I need to form some patterns that are actually conducive to a productive life. And so we see men becoming men. We see those animal instincts, those boys being harnessed by logic and reason so that we can actually live a productive life. And we go through those years and we see men, maybe they get married, maybe they join the workforce, they find a career, they accumulate some wealth, they accumulate some toys. And that's that man state where we start functioning in society. We gain some wealth, we gain some toys, but we find men going through those midlife crises where they're like, what the hell does this even mean? And that's where the evolution into the God, the spiritual comes into play. We went from beast to man. We're looking for higher meaning. We get in tune with something higher. God, whether it be religion or whether it be a spiritual aspect, we're looking for something higher, a rhyme and reason to direct the logic of man. And so again, Mike Tyson, man, at first you might realize, nah, I don't know about that. Mike Tyson, example of masculine virtue and a masculine direction. Listen. From a young age, man, he was getting in trouble with the law. He was on that animal instinct, just running and running. What can I find? What can I take? What's mine? And then he started training for boxing, and that even fueled that drive to become more animal, more dominant. he would constantly tell himself, I'm here to dominate. I'm here to kick ass. I am going to eat your children. He actually told another boxer, Lennox Lewis, that he was going to eat his children. He was just this dominating force. I'm here to fight. I'm here to exhibit my strength. I'm here to rip your throat out and kick your ass. He actually bit off another boxer's, the top of his ear in a match. Evander Holyfield bit the tip of his ear off. This guy was running on pure animal instinct. I'm a beast. I'm here to own your ass. And anyone that's familiar with him knows that he went through some trouble, man. He was charged with rape, went to prison for 3 years. Just that literal beast that he couldn't control, an unharnessed beast that got the better of him. And it destroyed him. He had made like $300 million in boxing, lost it all, went to prison, went to some psych wards, just tore up his mind because he was running on pure animal instinct, destroy, destroy, destroy. And while that's a key component of being a man, having the capacity to be violent, to be strong, we can't run on that 24/7 or it's going to tear us up, because we have to function in a world that doesn't always run on being a beast, being dominant, being a badass. And too much of that aggression will kick our ass. But as you see, anyone that's familiar with him, and I've been watching his shorts on YouTube, and this man has evolved, dude. He went from that beast and hitting rock bottom and beginning to have to ask himself, I can't be beast forever. It's destroying my life. So he went inward and began to become a man. We see him that he started kind of gaining back some respect. He was in some movies, 10, 15 years ago, started trying to function in life as a man using that logic that I can't always be beast. I ran through $300 million. How can I begin to accumulate some resources? Use logic, use reason. I can't always be beast. How can I harness that animal into some logic and reason? And he became a man. He became a man of value that started assimilating that beast into the realities of life so that he could function. And he goes through that for years. And now of late, he's begun to even transcend that. There's more than accumulating wealth. There's more than having nice, shiny toys. There's more than having the respect of my peers. And he's winning this spiritual aspect. And he said he used, I think he smoked some poison from a toad or went on some kind of spiritual trip like that. And he says he hasn't been the same since. It's as if that old man died. And I was listening to, him on a podcast the other day, and he said that it's as if he died and he got rid of that ego. The ego of the man was killing him. The beast was killing the man, but the man was killing his path to spiritual enlightenment because that man was filled with ego. And we've all been there. We think we're right. This is the only way to do it. I got to get more. I got to get more. I got to get more. And that's that harnessed beast within us telling us, get more money, get more women, get more careers, get more this. But eventually that runs out. That becomes an empty, hollowed shell of a feeling where there's got to be more than this. And he realized that. And he went on this spiritual journey and he's becoming this greater man. This egoless man. And if you watch any of his interviews, he'll cry. He's open to that emotion of, I hated that beast. That beast was dangerous. It was destroying me. And I became this man. And I began to use the logic of why did I feel this way? Why was I this beast? What was going on with me? And then he realized, well, I've got to go higher to begin to understand that. And he realized he had to lose his ego. He had to realize there was more than just being a man. And he went on this spiritual journey that realized, man, I'm scared of that beast because that beast destroyed me. But I need that beast because it made me the man that I am. And I think he's beginning to understand that a man has to harness the energy of that beast. We all need to be competitive. We all need to have an edge of aggression. That's what makes us competent and moves us forward and gives that confidence that I'm a little more beastier than that guy. I'm a little more beastier in my mindset, and it moves us to a higher plane where the world just wants to be average and mediocre. They want people to come feed them instead of going for the hunt and being that predator. As men, we have to have that, and not so much in a boxing match, fight, war kind of atmosphere, but every day waking up and see, how can I beast more than someone today? We harness that so we have that competitive edge. And then we use a man of logic and reason that says, what can I do to accumulate more resources today that positions me in a place where I'm self-dependent, self-reliant, and not seeking outside resources to come in. And then we have to transcend that into the higher reality, call it God, religion, spiritualness, whatever you want to call it, so that we actually have a reason that's more than wealth, that's more than beast, that's more than accumulating just another toy. We actually begin to self-actualize and find the things that are important in life. The 3 evolutions of man. We have that beast mode where it's fight and fuck and live life to the fullest, but we have to harness that with a man of logic and reason that says, how can I accumulate my resources that help me function in society? And then we transcend that into the God spiritual realm where we find a higher purpose than wealth and toys and fighting and fucking. 3 evolutions that we all need to begin to experience so that we can live a full, rich, rewarding life. We can't have one without the other. We might look at the beast mode of Tyson and say that's unnecessary, but a man without the capacity to be violent and stand up for what he believes in is not much of a man. We need that man of logic and reason. And you can say, well, he turns into corruption and greed with wanting to accumulate wealth and more. But we need that so we accumulate resources so that we become self-dependent. And then we transcend that into the God realm, the spiritual realm, where we find true meaning and purpose. And you can say, well, how do we function in this law spiritual realm? Where we have to harness that and bring that into reality too. Every day is just not meditating on mountaintops with rainbows and beautiful sunshines. We bring a higher purpose to that man of logic. We use the beast to accumulate the meaning and the standards that we set for ourselves. We set our boundaries with that beast. We set up our civilization, family, community with the man, and we set purpose, moralities, and values with that higher system. 3 evolutions that we all need to incur. 3 things that I want to begin to work on in my life. Have that beast within me that wants more, desires more, craves more. Have the man within me that can harness that beast, and then have some higher values that sets up my life, the arena that I want to live in and function in. I love you guys. Let's embrace the roles of masculinity and what it truly means. Let's discover what it means specifically in our own lives. Let's quit seeking oppression. Let's quit seeking excuses. Let's be that beast that has a drive to dominate. Let's have that man that harnesses the beast with logic and reason. And let's transcend men with some values, some morality, some direction. You guys will hear from me next episode.